Hello, it's Kevin Benedict, SMAC analyst, reporting this week from Sydney, Australia, where we're here in the Swiftel Hotel at the Mastering Enterprise Mobility with SAP conference. And I have the privilege of spending time today with Simon Miller, who's with SAP and a solutions manager, right?
Solution advisor.
Solutions advisor. Now, I've been fascinated for some time, Simon, with this acquisition that SAP made, I think, a year ago, with a little company called Right Hemisphere.
Yep.
Now, Right Hemisphere, why don't you just share with our viewers today, what is that technology, and now it's known as SAP Visual Enterprise?
Correct.
And what's the story with, what does it do, and what value does it add mobile users?
Okay, so I guess the first part is what it provides is the ability for any organisation to take, what is in the SA, or you have a CAD model to represent something. So if you're a company developing products, you're building your CAD model because this is how you can engineer the product, and the products,
right,
and the components that are in it, so you can actually control all that, and then of course push it out and make it. So that's all good, but there's a huge amount of information in there. But unfortunately what we find is that the CAD model is owned by the engineers, viewed by the engineers, and no one else can get access to it. So really what the power of the Visual Enterprise is to take that information, huge files, massively detailed, suck the goodness out of it, make a small file format that you can then use an authoring tool to produce procedures to build, maintain, and even produce documentation for selling. So then you can push they're just small files, which can then be distributed throughout the organisation. I've got the same visual attributes as the full CAD model, but without the size. So we can take, if I'm building an aeroplane, I do my design in my CAD model. We publish it out through the SAP Visual Enterprise. So then I can make work procedures for the guys that have to build it in the factory. I can build maintenance procedures for the people, the airlines that are going to run the aeroplane, so they've got a visual procedure. So one of the key things about the visual side of things is if I have to write down how you fit an aileron into a wing, it's just I'll need a hell of a lot of words. And you probably take half an hour to read it and misunderstand it. But if I show you in 3 easy steps in a picture, then you get it. And that's the power of the visual, bring that visual information to life.
So you have the ability to look at rotations of 3D equipment, how to disassemble it, how to build it, by separating the different parts and bringing them back together. Is that, you can do all of that with that?
That's what it does. So in the end, we use an authoring tool. If I want to build a job procedure, and maybe it takes me 1 or 2 minutes per step. We say these 4 bolts, boom, 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 they've got to come out. Now we have to remove this whole assembly, but wait, there's an important safety thing to consider. There's a spring behind it. Make sure that you have it contained so it doesn't spring up and break your finger.
So I can see all kinds of use cases. Let's say you geotag a piece of equipment, you walk up, you scan a barcode, or you just look at the location and brings up the assets within the area. You just click on it, and then it shows you how to disassemble it, repair it, replace parts, all of that. Is that how you see things happening? For sure.
So, there's a whole suite of applications there. Right now you can get there and get the information. What you need is a visual procedure. So with the SAP Visual Enterprise, we're giving the ability so that you can, with the existing technology without Visual Enterprise, we can get there, okay, this is how I can maintain it. But now we're giving you that, I can see step-by-step, animation of how that might actually look like if I had it on my bench.
Now, if we just add some, maybe they've already done this. I could just see them taking a photograph of the equipment using augmented reality to identify what the equipment is, and then automatically bring up and render the disassembly of it. Have you guys taken it that step?
So I haven't seen it done to that. So if you can recognise the object,
yes,
everything else is is technology that's available. Like if I can use some way of identifying that, I've got all sorts of ways of identifying which.
So it could be a barcode scan, it could be an RFID, it could be augmented reality, any of that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Simon, I want to thank you so much for sharing with all of us.
No worries at all. Thank you. So this is a maintenance procedure. Step 1, step 2. I've got some instructions so you can see what comes apart. If you're a mechanical fitter, you know exactly what you're talking about. Most other people even would have some idea what you're talking about. When you to see it.
Wow, that's innovation. Step by step.